All right, so sometimes friends ask me what's going on in the shop, and so I thought today I would just make a video and make it a lot easier. So that's it. Today is just a shop update. So if you're not interested in shop updates or what I'm working on, not a big deal. Wait till the next video. It'll probably be informative. But if you are interested in what these little hands are up to, then yeah, follow along for just a few moments. All right, so the first project I wanted to show you is for a showing at the PCCA. This is the Paint Creek Center for the Arts. It's a showing that's sponsored by, I guess, Country Fresh, that dairy company, and a bunch of other places, apparently. I was just talking to the lady who's running the event, and it's called Fresh Pasture. And this is a cow-themed art showing, exhibition, if you will, in our town of Rochester. And she asked me to be a part of it in some way. And of course, last minute as I am, in some cases, in this case for sure, my wife gave me the idea of carving a bull skull. Luckily, we just happen to have one of these in our living room. So I've been modeling the skull after my little model, my giant model. And horns are over here, or horns, whatever they are. I guess they're horns. And so, yeah, I've got the anatomy pretty tight, pretty decent. Underneath, I've got some hollow areas so it dries evenly, fires evenly. And so I'm going to finish that up today, get that in the kiln tomorrow, and then have it ready for a glaze coat on Sunday. Of course, it's due by Tuesday, so that gives you an idea of my timeline here. So we're staying busy with that. Really having fun carving the skull because all these shapes are kind of new to me. And dental arch and all this eye socket and, you know, orbital process and the snout, everything is so kind of foreign, and it just makes for such a fun project. And so, yeah, I'm using sculpting clay for that. This is water-based. And Peep, the new mug that my mom made. We're going to be selling these over on the Coffee and Carving Show. We have like a limited release of 15 of those. Check that out. Anyway, the other project I'm working on, this one I'm super excited and scared about, is a buck. Now, this is a traditional mount here. This is not at all how the thing is going to look, though. It's actually going to be closer to that than this. It's a European mount. Oh, I lied. It isn't a European mount. I'm completely remembering incorrectly. Good thing I caught myself. It was supposed to be a European mount. In other words, this guy, I'll show you, sent for this, he had been trying to get this deer for years, managed to get it, and they ruined the rack. They ruined his mount. It fell apart. It stayed in the acid for too long, lost its coloring, destroyed it. Anyway, this is kind of like the rack of a lifetime for a whitetail in Michigan. This is, of course, a 10-point deer, and a beautiful 10-point at that. And so he was really bummed and was commissioning me to carve this rack on this deer. So this is obviously a big boy. It's another, well, is it a 9-point? Anyway, a nice buck. And he wants me to use this as a model. He's turned the head in his drawing. He provided a drawing. He's a graphic designer. And he turned the head so that it's turning right. And he wants me to portray that deer as it would have looked before that it was destroyed by the, whoever did the mounting. So anyway, that's going to be a life-size project. It's a big undertaking. I'm going to do it in Basswood. And so that's another project going on in the shop right now. The big old deer. Another project, this is a really great example of Abby Peterson's speed carving. Abby did this carving in, 40 minutes while I waited for him right before I left Kentucky. I was visiting him to do some collaboration, and anyway, he did 3 of these kind of designs with the split head, and this one's starting to crack a little. I really should put something on this so it doesn't continue to crack in here. It's very dry, but I have yet to carve on this, but my dream and the reason that it's in here is to just go in and refine all the forms. Of course, this is a speed carving for him. He would have brought this to a high level had he spent some time, but I'm going to do that. And we'll call it a collaborative piece. But I love the way that it's designed, just split right down the middle. And so that'll be another project going on in the shop. All right, so you can see there's lots of wood here. I've got piles and piles of wood. These are gifted pieces of basswood that a gentleman gave me. I've got plenty more that, as I mentioned, I'm going to be using to create the buck. Thanks to Nate Lewalski for donating the birch wood. This is beautiful stuff to carve. And so those are some of the things that I'll be carving in. I'll be carving in lots of basswood because I have tons of basswood. I'll be carving in pine. This is white pine, I should say. And lots of fun, large-scale projects that I am so geeked about. I've been wanting to do stuff like this for a while, and I just can't find the time or courage to do it, and a commission really kicks you in the butt. All right, another thing going on in the shop since we're here. This is a nose project that we're doing on the online school. And what I'm doing is I'm breaking down elements of, this is a Caucasian male, so elements of various types of facial features within, European males, right? So, and then we're going to go in another category. We're going to do African-American males, then African-American women, and European men and women. I'm sorry, women rather, because we're already doing men here. So the idea is to just kind of go over variations in feature. So this started out an aquiline nose, which is a nose with a positive turn to it. And now, of course, it's a upturned nose, or I like to call it a fairy nose, even though it's not really appropriate for men. But just kind of showing people how I started with a bulbous nose and transitioned into sort of more of a pointed nose like this one. And that's all stuff I'm covering on the school, which I have linked below, of course. So this is turning into an ad. Not really, but so yeah, lots of fun projects going on with the online school as well. I guess, hey, we're here, so talk about this. My mom's good buddy brought this by a while ago. She bought these from some antique shop, or maybe it was an estate sale, I can't remember, but she wants me to carve her a baby Jesus. And she also wants me to rework the finish on these because they're kind of, she just doesn't love how dark they are. So I guess the only thing that I can think of to do is take the finish off and maybe do some sort of a light topical finish. It does not penetrate in and darken the wood as much. And she wants me to rework the face as well. She doesn't love the face on Mary, so I understand that. It's not a bad face though. I mean, I like it personally. I would leave it, but hey, customer knows best. So it's another project going on in the shop. What else? What else? Of course, I found a piece of bark outside underneath a pile of stuff, and lo and behold, actually my neighbor found it and told me about it. It's got a little face in there, and I really like the way it's starting to weather. So kind of brings me back to my youth and weathering carvings. I used to take carvings and leave them outside and create this grape tone, and it would almost match with the bark, so it almost looked like it always was there. Kind of makes me want to do that again. So there's that. Oh, what have we here? My two things here actually. They're note paper. Abby Peterson, a buddy of mine, has encouraged me to start doing a drawing, or a gesture drawing every day. And I'm still failing at that. I haven't done much of it. But the idea is get a bunch of cheap news copy paper and just practice quick gestural drawings, minute-long drawings or 5-minute drawings to just sharpen your drawing skills. And this guy, I started a few weeks ago now, and he's just been drawing out. And I broke his hair off. So my neighbor, who is a ceramicist, lent me some glue. Actually, I think it was my glue to begin with. Anyway, doesn't matter. This one's going to probably go in the kiln this weekend as well. Got bumped on the nasal flare there. You can see that. So I'm going to try and do a little carving on it to fix it. And I might just leave it rough, though. I don't usually do that on carvings, like really leave them kind of rough and rowdy like this. And I'm kind of using the opportunity of the different medium to stretch my designs a little bit and my usual finishes. But I'm always kind of drawn to these more refined features, and so that's that. Otherwise, you guys have seen this one. This is another fun project that I was doing just to have at art shows, just a talking piece. The idea is it's a version of the Eve, biblical representation of Eve. Of course, I use my wife as a model there because she has kind of a racially ambiguous look, which is perfect, I think, for Eve. Or ethnically ambiguous was the term I was going for. Anyway, got a dove here that's going to shrink down half, or I don't know. It's going to shrink down 30% at least. And dove on her shoulder, of course, representing, God as in the Holy Spirit. And then we have this snake that's creeping around through her hair. And it's going to kind of represent, of course, the tension between good and evil And then we've got the apple blossom up here. Idea, courtesy of Jackie Bertolini, thanks for that. This is going to kind of represent the temptation, this whole scene here, right? Apples, right, a part of the temptation. Anyway, that's that. So really, this is basically what's been going on in my shop. Some projects have been going on for longer than I probably should let them go on. Yeah, that, and I'm also writing. You can't see that here, the laptop, but just writing, working on the book. So thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for taking out time.